Welcome to the Brooklyn Technical High School Virtual College Fair. My name is Jasmine. I'm going to serve as the facilitator for our session today. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping announcements. But first, you can use that Q&A feature to type your questions at any point throughout our session today. Second, your camera and microphone are off, so we are unable to see or hear you. Third, this is just one of many different sessions we're offering, so feel free to visit our registration site to sign up for additional sessions. And finally, this presentation is being recorded, and you'll have access to that recording within about a week or so. With all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our first presenter from Vanderbilt University.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen real quick so that I can show you some slides about Vanderbilt. Thank you all for being here today. I appreciate it. My name is Ben Bousquet. I'm one of our admission officers here at Vanderbilt. I'm actually filling in for my colleague Jan, who would typically work with our students from your area. So I will share her email address in the chat after I finish up. And I know we just have about 6 minutes, so I'm going to just go ahead and jump right in and tell you all some about Vanderbilt. First off, we are in Nashville, Tennessee. It's Music City, USA, a really wonderful, wonderful place to go to school. And we have the privilege of being a mid-sized university. You see right there, just about 7,000 undergraduate students in the middle of a major city. But we have our own gorgeous college campus. It really is a park-like setting. I won't bury the lead here. You can see down at the bottom, we have this 3-to-1 squirrel to student ratio. That's our kind of fun way of letting you know that our campus is actually a national arboretum. We have as many trees on campus as we have squirrels. So it's this park-like oasis in the middle of a really fun major city. We have 10 colleges and schools, 4 of which serve undergraduate students, which I'll talk about in a moment, and over 70 different majors to choose from. Our students are really engaged, and this is something that doesn't just happen when they get to Vanderbilt. We're also looking for students who are really engaged in their high schools, whether that's in their own households, in their schools, in their communities, at a faith-based organization. You see all those student organizations that we have. And then finally, you can see that 44% of our students self-identify as students of color. We're also 11% international. And so Vanderbilt really prioritizes diversity and inclusion for our students. And we have basically a cross-section of the United States when you look at what our students look like, what they believe, where they're coming from, represented here on our campus. So this slide just shows you quickly where we're from. You can see all 50 states except for North Dakota are represented. I know you all are not from North Dakota, but you can see where folks are coming from. Lots of people from the Northeast, from New York, but really all over the country. And not to forget, on the left there, about 11% again of our population is international. These are the 4 colleges and schools at Vanderbilt. I'm going to give a very high level overview. The main thing to know is that you will apply to one of these 4 schools when you apply to Vanderbilt. That being said, we have an open curriculum. It's a really cool thing. So you could be in the School of Engineering, but take classes at the School of Music. You could be in any one of these schools and dual major with the others. In arts and science and engineering, you don't declare your major on the way in. You just apply to that school broadly. Whereas in Peabody, the College of Education and Human Development, and the Blair School of Music, you do declare your major and you apply to a specific major. That'll be a really important question to ask schools. Am I applying to a specific major, or can I figure it out when I get there? At Vanderbilt, it will depend on the college or school to which you apply. And then our students are doing a whole lot of things outside of the classroom as part of their professional development. Immersion Vanderbilt, which you see here, is one of our requirements for all of our students. This means that our students are going to have experiences outside of the classroom. That might be research, it might be an internship, they might study abroad, or they might do a service project that they lead and direct themselves. Every single one of our students is going to do one of these immersion projects. Many students will do more than one. So you might study abroad and do research and lead a major service project. Another really distinctive aspect of Vanderbilt is our students live on campus for all 4 years. We have these living learning communities. We call them residential colleges where our students live. You're looking at one of them right now. That's one of our newest, E. Bronson Ingram Residential College. All of our first year students live together in one of 10 different houses or residential colleges. And then after that, they branch out around campus. Again, our campus is condensed within Nashville. You're not driving across town. You have this gorgeous college campus, and you're going to live and learn with your 7,000 peers for 4 years. There's also a lot of fun things happening on our campus. I try not to get too bogged down in rankings and ratings and things like that, but I love this best quality of life from Princeton Review. And Nashville's a great place to be. There's great weather. There's also really dynamic speakers and performers on our campus. This picture was taken at the Beyonce and Jay-Z concert that was here 2 years ago. Very exciting, and we are very ready to get back to live music here in Nashville. Speaking of Nashville, this is my favorite slide because it gives you a sense of where we are within the city. You can see at the bottom of the slide, it's a little darker. You see a lot of trees and collegiate buildings. That's our campus. And then you can see the Nashville skyline there at the top of the page. Whether you're thinking about what kind of fun experiences am I going to have as an undergraduate student, how am I going to get home? Is there an airport close by, which there is? Or if you're thinking about professional experiences like jobs and internships, being in the middle of a capital city like Nashville, which is still a mid-sized city, it's very navigable, very drivable, very walkable, is a really prime location. And then finally, I want to tell you about financial aid at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt makes a commitment through this program, Opportunity Vanderbilt, to make sure that students of any financial background can afford our education. When you fill out financial aid documents, you're going to get a number called your EFC, and that is how much you're expected to pay for college. If that number is less than the cost of attendance at Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt will make up the difference in grant money, in scholarship money. We don't package loans at all. So we really work hard to make sure that Vanderbilt is affordable to any student who wishes to attend. You can check out more at vu.edu/virtual tour. And again, I'm going to drop Jan's email address in the chat. She's your admissions officer, and you can reach out to her directly. Thank you so much. And I look forward to answering some of your questions.
All right, so good evening. My name is Chris Moody, and I am the admissions counselor for Florida Polytechnic University. So let me go ahead and share my screen briefly with you so you can see some facts and figures and information about the university. As you can see right now, some various rankings from the university. We are super excited in the amount of time that we've come in a relatively short period of time here at the university. One thing that I really just want to spend some time tonight just talking about some things that make Florida Poly unique, not only among the schools that are here tonight, but among really all of the schools across the country. So one of those is how young we are. We are just finishing up our 8th academic year here at Florida Poly. So the rankings that you see on their screen there, those are especially significant to us in the fact that they've come in the last year and a half, and we've made some considerable progress. And some of the schools that were kind of sandwiched in between are schools that have been around 150 years. So we're really excited here with kind of the momentum that we have here at Florida Poly. Another thing that I really love about the university is going to be our location. So we are located in Lakeland, Florida, which is a good sized town, got about 100,000 people here in Lakeland. But even better than that is the fact that if you go about half an hour to our east, you're going to be in Orlando, Florida. And if you go about 40 minutes to the west, you're in Tampa, Florida. So you've got some really great cities to take advantage of, major metropolitan areas here in Florida, not only for internships, jobs after graduation, things like that, but really just to take advantage of all of the fun things that are available here in Central Florida as well. So just touch a little bit about kind of the profile and kind of the style of university that we have here at Florida Poly. As you can see on the screen there, the average class size is going to be right about 20, 21 students. But I think more impactful than that is the fact that the largest class that we even offer has 40 students in it. So if you come here to Florida Poly, you're not going to have any lecture halls or auditorium style classes or anything like that. We really believe, especially when it comes to STEM, that it's going to be most beneficial if you're in kind of that smaller hands-on environment. So that's something we really kind of pride ourselves on. Also, the overall student body is one of certainly on the smaller side. We've got about 1,400 total students here at Florida Poly. So if you want to be on a spot that you're able to kind of be yourself and kind of have that unique experience of possibly even being in an area smaller than your high school or things like that, but makes it a lot easier to kind of be a student leader on campus, really as early as your freshman, sophomore year, starting to really have some of those leadership roles and things like that. If you want to start a new club, create a lot of different opportunities. Again, just being a young school here, there is those opportunities here on campus as well. On the screen, you can see about 35 different programs of study that we have here at Florida Poly. One thing that makes us unique is that we are 100% dedicated to STEM. So all of the programs that you see on the screen, all of the programs that we're ever going to offer are going to be somehow related to computer science, engineering, physics, mathematics, that kind of stuff. So anything you see on the screen there that's underlined, that'll be your actual 4-year Bachelor of Science degree that you'll earn from us. And then you'll choose a bullet point underneath there as an opportunity to really dive a little bit deeper as your area of concentration within that major. So you'll have that kind of broad overall understanding of the actual major, and then get a chance to really kind of specialize in an area that is of particular interest for you as well. Mentioned a couple minutes ago that we've got about 1,400 total students. We are looking to slowly kind of grow our student campus here. So if you were to enroll here at Florida Poly, by the time you graduated, we'd probably be sitting about 1,900 total students. And that's in part because we're building a brand new applied research center that you can see on the screen there. So it's in the construction process right now, as you can see, and it's going to essentially double the amount of lab space, research opportunities to really just get that hands-on STEM experience here on campus. It's going to be over a 90,000 square foot facility. There's going to be over a dozen brand new labs in there. So we're really excited. This building's actually going to open up in the spring of 2022. So it'll be here, it'll be open, ready for you to take advantage of. And we're excited to really bring that building on campus. One thing I would definitely kind of recommend, whether it's Florida Poly or any other schools that you're looking at, definitely try and visit if at all possible. I know pretty much every school, certainly here tonight, but most schools across the country are going to have some sort of a virtual tour or virtual visit option that you can take part in, maybe even the opportunity to Zoom with the admissions counselor or something like that. We certainly have all of those opportunities here at Florida Poly, but we're also fortunate that because we are a small school and because of some of the kind of safety precautions we take and things like that, we offer in-person tours as well at this stage. So you can come down, check us out in person, see if it is going to be the right fit, the right experience coming here to Florida Poly. So that would really be my number one kind of bit of advice, is to really tour as many schools as possible. After that first tour, you'll really kind of get the sense as to maybe you fall in love with Florida Poly, or if not, you realize, hey, I want a school that's in a bigger city, in a smaller city. I want a school that's maybe a larger school, more athletic programs, whatever it might be. But you'll learn a lot, and that'll really help you as you're kind of finalizing and moving through your college search process. One other thing that I wanted to mention, there are a lot of schools out there that are test optional at this point. Did want to mention that we do require the SAT or ACT, but we can talk more about that later, as I see that my time is up. So I will pass things on over to, I believe, Ohio State.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining. My name is Tracy Schumann, and I work in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions at The Ohio State University. I am filling in for one of my colleagues, Lauren Heatherly, who is actually based in Brooklyn. So she is she likes to say, your Brooklyn bridge to Ohio State. But I'm happy to be here and present some information about the university. So to start off talking a little bit about Ohio State, we are one of the largest institutions in the country. And that's something that we don't shy away from sharing with you because we also feel like it's one of our greatest assets. In addition to the 200 plus majors that we can offer and the 500 plus specializations or minors, we're also looking to provide you a personalized experience. And so while a large university, we still offer a student to faculty ratio of 19:1. 80% of our classes actually have fewer than 50 students. And based on this year's response to COVID and the need to make class sizes smaller to de-densify campus, we are looking to even increase that percentage. And so again, coming to Ohio State provides you lots of great opportunities because of our size, because of our standings, but also can be a very personalized experience for you as well. What you'll see here on the screen is a listing of the different schools and colleges that we have at Ohio State. There are 15 different undergraduate schools or colleges for you to choose from. When you apply to Ohio State, you are applying to the university. So we make decisions based on admission to the university, but then based on the major that you have selected, some of our programs are competitive. But as a large, comprehensive research institution, we also have a variety of graduate and professional programs on our campus as well. So many students come here right after high school and stay all the way through medical school or all the way through law school because we have all of those programs. One of the things that we like to highlight as well about Ohio State are the things outside of the classroom and the ways that you can get involved in and engaged in our campus. Particularly when we're talking with students from out of state, it's important to let you know that we do have an actively involved campus, that students are not going home on the weekend. And in fact, they're involved in a variety of things, both academically in nature and just outside of the classroom opportunities. One of those are experiential learning. And we put a lot of emphasis on this because while we feel very confident about the academics you're going to get in the classroom, we also want to enhance that or marry that nicely with your out of classroom experience. So whether it's research or study abroad opportunities, internships, opportunities to do service learning, recreational sports, we have it all for you to take advantage of. We also offer all first-year students a brand new iPad Air for you to keep for 4 years. We began our digital flagship program with Apple about 3 years ago, and it's been a great way for all of our students to have the technology and tools for them to be successful. In addition, we've also trained our faculty to make sure that they're using the iPad technology when appropriate. We are ranked nationally for our first year experience program, essentially the group of staff on our campus who are focused in on making sure your first year at Ohio State is successful and that you're making that transition from high school to college seamlessly. When we enroll every year about 7,800 new first year students, and about 95% of them are coming back for their second year. So we know that students are feeling comfortable on our campus, that they're making the connections that they need, and Ohio State truly is becoming a home away from home. And that support and those resources continue into the second year with our STEP program, where we provide students the opportunity for a program or an opportunity for faculty mentorship, as well as funding for up to $2,000 to do that experiential learning program. Now, some other things I want to highlight, our Moral Scholarship Program is a scholarship that can cover up to the full cost of a tuition for students who have been really actively involved in diversity-based or social justice-based activities within their high school or community. We have an excellent honors program for students who are looking to continue a highly academically enriched program in college, and a scholars program that is also for our students looking for a theme or a set of opportunities around a certain subject area, as well as a variety of different learning communities, about 19 different learning communities for you to engage with other students who have similar interests as you in the residence halls and work with staff around those areas to be further engaged in that. We feel like that's a great way to build a nice community on our campus. Now, Ohio State is located in the city of Columbus, which is the state capital of Ohio, and it's also the 15th largest state in the country. And so one of the great things about Ohio State and about the city of Columbus is that you have this large metropolitan campus, large metropolitan city right down the street from our very college feel campus. So when you're on our campus, it truly feels like a college campus, but you have all of the benefits of a large city right outside, right down the road from Ohio State. It is accessible, it's easy to get to. The airport in Columbus is about 15 minutes from campus. So again, those of you coming from out of state, that process, that trip, that transition is quite easy. Again, this is just to give you some perspective about where you're coming from, as well as students. We have students from all 50 states and countries around the world, hundreds of countries around the world. So a really diverse and engaged campus community. Now, you will complete the common application to apply to Ohio State. We do continue to be, plan to continue to be test optional for autumn 22. So please note that if you are unable to send a test score or not planning to, that is okay. November 1st is our early action deadline, but we encourage students to apply early because it's also our merit scholarship. We do have a final deadline of February 1st. The other thing I want to mention is we do have a very nice scholarship for students coming from outside of Ohio that goes up to $13,500. So it really takes away that out-of-state surcharge. And last but not least, this is a great slide for you as well to give you some helpful websites, how to virtually visit campus, how to learn more about our programs and the admissions process, and certainly how to connect with us in any way. So thanks everyone for joining, and as always, go Buckeyes.
Thank you to all of our amazing presenters. We're now going to transition to the Q&A portion of our section today, but I want to encourage all of our attendees to continue asking any questions you may have in that feature on Zoom. Feel free to our panelists to return, turn your cameras on, and I'm going to pose a question to the entire group. Our panelists will respond in the order in which they presented. So we'll start with Vanderbilt. The first question: what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
Yeah, thank you for the question. And obviously I'm here to represent Vanderbilt, but Tracy, I'm right there with you. Go Bucks. I was born and bred a Buckeye, so always fun to be here with someone from Ohio State. I love this question, and I'll give you the answer that I have. When I was in high school, I was talking to somebody at my local church who happens to be a professor at a school, and they were talking to me about what it might be like to go to college. And the advice that he gave me really rang true, which is when you get to college, you will have as much time in the world for as much fun and engaging activities and all the fun stuff that you want to do. And you'll have enough time for the studying and getting the good grades that you want to get. If, and this is the big if you manage your time well. And I think that it was a really great point. I think a lot of students don't realize, right now you're in school 7 or 8 hours a day. When you get to college, you'll be in school on average in class 3 hours a day. And it's actually a little bit less than that, 15 hours a week. And so you will have all of this free time, and it's really going to be important that you start to manage your time well. And that's something that I'd encourage you to start thinking about now, start looking at resources online, asking successful college students and other people that you know what they do to manage their time.
I mentioned it a little bit earlier during my presentation, but my biggest advice would be to go visit the campuses, take virtual tours, tours in person, whatever it may be, because even just the 3 schools here tonight, I've had the chance to be on all 3 of the campuses at various points, and they're all very different. They have very different feels, very different atmospheres, and they're going to appeal to different types of students. So as much as I can talk about a certain ranking or a certain program or something like that, it's really getting on campus, even if it's just driving through campus or whatever it may be, whatever is available, whatever you're comfortable with. getting that experience, being on the campus, really seeing if it's going to feel like home. Because I always say, if I can say we've got the #1 program in the state or the #1 program in the country for X, but if it doesn't feel like home, it's not going to be the right fit. It's not going to be a good experience for you. And ultimately, it's not going to be a good experience for that university either.
And I would just piggyback off of what Chris had to say as far as the visit. In addition to that, the virtual opportunities that all of the colleges and universities right now are offering, while things begin to open back up, I would highly doubt that these virtual opportunities will go away. So please take advantage of them, because I know at Ohio State, and I'm sure with my colleagues here, we've put a lot of time and energy into trying to give you as much information. So please take advantage of these virtual opportunities, and that may help you then decide the schools that you will visit. The other thing I would just add to is see how you can engage with a current student. Learn what is it really like to be on that college campus. In admissions, I can tell you all the great things, again, the rankings, the opportunities, how you can get involved, but a current student is really going to help you get a feel for the college campus. And those are always great resources and great insights that current students can share.
Great advice from the group. I'll go ahead and pose our next question. And again, we'll start with Vanderbilt. What is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
So my favorite tradition on Vanderbilt's campus is called Anchor Dash. And Anchor Dash is great because I feel like I get to see the sort of fruits of my labor and our labor as an admission office. At the first home football game of every year, again, in non-COVID times, which we're expecting to have good capacity in our stadium this year. And by the way, we're in the SEC, we're in the Southeastern Conference. The first home football game, all 1,600 first-year students rush the field, and they run from one side of the field to the other. Our chancellor, our president, is on the PA system, and he's talking about how great they are and where they're coming from and who came the farthest and all of these amazing things. And the entire stands are on our feet, and we're cheering on our first-year students. And that is how we kind of informally, in a very fun way, welcome you all to campus and then enjoy a football game. So it's a lot of my favorite things. Yeah, so that's my favorite one. It's called the Anchor Dash.
So there's a couple that I'm kind of debating between, but I would say that my favorite experience that really kind of highlights the type of students that we have here on campus and everything else is called Polycon. It's essentially a Comic-Con event that's here on campus, but it's entirely 100% student run. So the students put it all together and host it, and usually anywhere, again, in non-COVID times, anywhere from about 1,500 to 2,000 folks from the community, from Tampa, Orlando, Lakeland, will come to our campus to take part. It's a very kind of well-run and kind of well-respected event, not only here on campus, but in the community as well.
Well, there's a few different things that I can choose from, but I will go to, in addition to being able to go to really anywhere in the world and yell out OH, someone will more than likely yell back IO to you. But I will say, I will lean to another tradition at Ohio State, and that is singing Carmen, Ohio, which is our alma mater. So we end football games with that, but we begin meetings, meetings with that, we end meetings with that. And so I think it's really a great honor, or great way in which we're honoring our alma mater in the university, because I think it represents our past, our present, but also our future as well. And it's a great sign of our community and our tradition by singing our alma mater.
Thank you all for sharing. One final question here. Again, we'll start with Ben. Can you give an interesting or fun fact about your institution?
Yeah. Okay, so normally I guess my go-to is our 3-to-1 squirrel to student ratio, because I do find that really fun. But I'm going to lean into our city of Nashville. We are obviously known for country music. Our nickname is Music City, USA. And so there are a lot of famous musicians that went to Vanderbilt. But my fun fact would be that Nashville has the most live concerts per capita of any city in the United States. We even have New York beat in that case. So tons of live music, tons of free music, and tons of it that you can walk to from our campus. We're right here in the middle of it. In fact, 2 blocks from our campus is Music Row, which is where all of the major record labels, especially in the country music world, have their recording studios. I helped teach a class that was in an old Sony Music recording studio where lots of Nashville greats, including like Garth Brooks and others, had recorded. So really, really deep history and culture of music here in Nashville, right by our campus.
So being 100% dedicated to STEM and also being a new university, we knew we wanted to do something a little bit unique, a little bit different. And we actually have the very first in the country, and I believe still the only university in the country that has a 100% digital library. So we've got all of the library resources that you could possibly need, but you're not going to be lugging around textbooks and lugging around different resource books or things like that. Everything's online at your fingertips whenever you need it.
And I will add, last but not least, is that Ohio State, we offer over 200 different study abroad programs, including at least one on all 7 continents. So for those of you who are adventurous and want to go to Antarctica, that is a possibility for you. Knowing that being in Ohio, we get some snowy weather and cold weather, that's probably not where I would go. But it is an offering that we have, as well as a lot of other wonderful places around the world.
Thank you for sharing. So with that said, this concludes our virtual college fair for today, but I have a few closing announcements I want to share with you as you exit the Zoom session. A survey will appear. It's approximately 4 questions or so. Please complete the survey. It's extremely helpful for us as we aim to improve our virtual college fair offerings. I also want to remind you that you can sign up for additional sessions by visiting our registration site. And finally, this recording will be available within about a week or so. With that said, I want to thank our amazing panelists for joining us, for sharing their knowledge and information about their institution. But I also want to thank all of our attendees for taking time out of their busy day. I hope everyone has a great evening. Thank you so much.